The next morning, Nadia went to the police station on 138th Street. She had not slept. She had lain on Mrs. Okafor's couch and stared at the ceiling and waited for it to be light enough to leave without worrying her more than she already had. She walked in at 7:43 a.m. and waited 11 minutes before anyone came to speak with her. The officer who took her report listened. He wrote things down. She watched his pen moving and tried to read it upside down and couldn't. When she finished, he told her she was very brave for coming in. She asked him what would happen next. He said they would look into it. 3 days later, she called from Mrs. Okafor's kitchen. A different officer answered. He put her on hold for 4 minutes. When he came back, he told her the case had been classified as a voluntary disappearance. Diane Carter, 34. No criminal record, no local family. Nadia asked what voluntary disappearance meant. He explained it gently. Sometimes adults make decisions that are difficult for children to fully understand. There was no evidence of a crime. She asked specifically about the car, the plate, the partial she had recorded. He said they had looked into it and found nothing of concern. She asked what that meant. Nothing of concern. He said he understood this was hard. He gave her a number for a family services line. Nadia wrote it down. She never called it. She went back twice more. The second time, a young officer crouched to her level in the waiting area, actually crouched, one knee on the floor, and told her gently that there were support programs available for children in difficult home situations. He meant it. She could tell he meant it. It was the most wrong thing anyone had said to her since October 14th. She walked home alone. She came through the front door of her building and walked past the mailboxes and past the dying plant on the sill of the leasing office window. Mr. Adeyemi's door was open. He was sitting at his desk, on the phone, laughing at something. A real laugh, relaxed. The laugh of a man having a perfectly ordinary afternoon. His fleece vest today was navy blue. The dish of hard candies on the corner of his desk where it always was. He looked up. He saw her. His expression did not change. Not tighter, not looser, not guilty, not afraid. He simply registered her, the way you'd register any child from the building passing in the hallway, and raised one hand in a small, easy wave. A neighbor wave. The kind you give without thinking. Nadia kept walking. She walked to the elevator and pressed 4 and stood inside it while it rose and did not let herself feel the thing trying to move through her chest until she was through Mrs. Okafor's door and the deadbolt was turned behind her. Then she sat at the kitchen table and opened her notebook to a fresh page. She wrote 3 words, pressed hard enough that the pen almost tore through. Find someone else. Back in the lobby of Croft Capital, the larger guard returned to her 7 minutes after stepping away. His posture was different from before, recalibrated, the way a person adjusts when the information they've received doesn't match the situation they thought they were managing. Wait over there, he said, gesturing toward cream chairs near the east-facing windows. Someone will be down shortly. Nadia walked to the chairs and sat in the one facing the elevator bank directly, placed the notebook flat on her knees, folded her hands on top of it, and waited. 12 minutes passed. Then the left elevator opened and a woman crossed the lobby. Late 30s, dark suit, hair pulled back, shoes that sounded deliberate on marble. She walked like someone whose time had a known and significant cost, which meant she had chosen to spend 12 minutes deciding something before she came down. Nadia noted that. The 12 minutes were not nothing. The woman reached her and did something Nadia had not expected. Not leaning, not perching, crouching, one knee close to the marble floor, bringing herself fully to eye level. Unhurried, not a gesture, a decision. My name is Claire, she said. I work for Mr. Croft. Tell me what you told the guard. In your own words. Take your time. Nadia looked at her. She had been prepared for skepticism, for the particular kind of careful adult voice that means we will handle this by moving you along gently. She had rehearsed for that version. Claire's voice was not that. Nadia began. The date first, October 14th. The location, Prospect Avenue, the Bronx, 4th floor. The company name, Harrow Group LLC. The vehicle, black, arriving 11 minutes after first contact, street parked, engine running. The plate, partial, first 3 confirmed, last 3 narrowed to 4 possible combinations, written in her notebook if Claire wanted to see them. She did not add anything, did not remove anything, recited it the way her mother had taught her to give directions. Say what it is, not what you think about it. It took 1 minute and 40 seconds. Claire listened without moving, without nodding, without any of the small performances of listening adults usually produce to show a child they are being taken seriously. When Nadia finished, Claire held the silence for 3 seconds. Then she straightened up, touched 2 fingers to her earpiece, and spoke quietly, listened, nodded once, a small, precise nod that meant confirmed, not surprised. She looked back down at Nadia. Mr. Croft will see you now. Nadia stood. She tucked the notebook under her left arm, straightened the jacket of her school uniform, the one that was a size too large, that her mother had bought so she could grow into it. She did not say thank you. Not because she had forgotten, not because she was frightened or overwhelmed by the marble and orchids in the 30-foot ceiling. She didn't say it because she had come here for exactly this. 63 days of work, a borrowed kitchen, a table that wasn't hers. Every thread followed until it led to this lobby, this elevator, this moment. She would say thank you when her mother was home. She followed Claire to the elevator. The office occupied the full corner of the 38th floor. 2 complete walls were glass, floor to ceiling. Through them, the entirety of Midtown Manhattan, silent from up here, reduced by height and glass to something that looked less like a city and more like a very detailed painting of one. Nadia did not look at the view. She looked at the man. Sebastian Croft was standing beside his desk, not behind it. He'd had 12 minutes to arrange himself however he wanted, and he had chosen to stand in the open, with no desk between him and the door. He was 47, lean, dark suit, no tie, hair graying at the temples. His face was the careful composure of someone who had spent decades in rooms where the first person to show something loses something. He was looking at her the way the guard downstairs had not with dismissal, not with managed patience, but with the focused attention of someone recalibrating. He had not been expecting her to be 11. Nadia stopped 3 feet from his desk. My name is Nadia Carter. I'm 11 years old. 2 months ago, 3 men came to our apartment building and took my mother. I watched from the window. One of the cars used that night was registered to Harrow Group, LLC. A pause. I traced Harrow Group to Croft Capital, to you. Sebastian said nothing. The city moved silently behind him. I'm not here because I think you took her, she continued. I'm here because you are connected to whoever did. And my mother told me to find someone. A pause. I have been looking for 63 days, and every road I've followed has ended here. The silence lasted 4 seconds. Something behind Sebastian's expression had changed. Some small structural thing, the way a wall looks the same until you notice a crack running through it that wasn't there before. What was your mother's name? His voice was quiet, careful in a way that was different from Claire's careful. This was the careful of someone managing something internal. Diane Carter. Something moved across his face, fast, contained, but it moved. And Nadia pressed it into her memory the same way she had pressed the characters of the license plate. He knew that name. How did you find Harrow Group? School library, 11 days, 4 different search methods. Plainly, without pride. The police told me they found nothing of concern. A brief pause. But I found it, in 11 days from a school library, on a borrowed tablet. She looked at him steadily. So either they didn't look, or someone told them not to. The room held the silence between them like a third presence. Sebastian shifted his weight for the first time, one hand coming up to rest against his jaw for a moment before dropping. That car, he said slowly, was not supposed to be traceable. I know, Nadia said, but I had time, and I was paying attention. Sebastian Croft looked at her for a long moment. 11 years old, Gray school uniform one size too large. Scuffed black shoes. A composition notebook with a cracked spine tucked under her arm like it contained everything she owned, which, in the ways that mattered, it did. Why come to me directly? His voice had shifted, less managed. You could have gone to a journalist, a lawyer, someone with resources. Journalists need proof I don't have yet. No gap, the answer already prepared. Lawyers cost money I don't have, and you, a pause, one beat. You already know what happened to my mother. I can see it on your face. Sebastian went very still. So you are the fastest way to find her, Nadia said. And every day I wait is a day she's still gone. The room did not make a sound. Sebastian Croft, 47 years old, 43 floors above Park Avenue, a man who had not been caught off guard in longer than he could precisely remember, went pale. Not dramatically, the pale of a person who has just had something confirmed that they had been hoping, against evidence, was not true. The pale of a reckoning arriving on schedule. He looked at the girl in front of him. He looked at the notebook under her arm. He pulled out the chair beside his desk, not behind it. The visitor's chair. He sat down in it slowly. For the first time since Nadia had walked through the double doors, he looked like a man who needed to sit down. Tell me, he said quietly, everything you have in that notebook. If you want to know what Nadia wrote in the notebook is true, and if Sebastian really took her mother, part 3 is coming,